Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, D23, the Ultimate Fan Event merchandise details. The After Hours cast members get a party. A character dining experience is being paused.
The holidays are coming earlier than anticipated to Disneyland. Tag and I talk about our experience at the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet and more. DL Weekly starts now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard the DL Weekly podcast. Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding. If this is your first time listening, we hope you'll check out our website at dlweekly.net. If you have more time to spend, becoming an official weekly tier at dlweekly.net/support is an especially good value. Thanks for traveling with us today, and we hope you have a happy and memorable listen to this week's episode.
Hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of July 29th, 2026. I'm Tag Bushman.
I'm Teresa Urban.
And I'm Ryan Phelps. We'd like to thank everyone who supports the show. This week, we would like to give a special shout out to Elizabeth P. for becoming a new member, Bill S. for increasing his support, Lynn B. and Catherine P. If you'd like to help support the show and get an ad-free version of each episode, access our supporter-only chat, and a bunch of other perks, head on over to dlweekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
Now let's get to the news.
Extra, extra! Read all about it! DL Weekly reports from intrepid correspondents Tag and Teresa. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Breaking news!
Well, the D23 Ultimate Disney Fan Event has announced an incredible lineup of shopping experiences across the convention floor, featuring everything from central hubs to exclusive brand boutiques. Attendees can hit up the main D23 marketplace and its dedicated pin store, scan QR codes at the traditional Disney store for home-shipped collabs, or check out the Walt Disney Company store for official event merchandise. Plus, fans can look forward to specialized spots like Mickey's of Glendale, the debut of the design-focused Disney.YNSD store, and even an auction showroom packed with rare park props.
I am so looking forward to this. I think it was very, very smart because maybe did this last year and I just forgot, but I really love that they pulled the pins into separate stores. I think that's very, very, very smart because, right, pins are a very, I don't want to say specific collector, but kind of like it's its own, Disney pins are kind of its own fandom in and of itself. So I think it makes a lot of sense to have separate shopping spaces just for the pins. I think Ryan and I are going to have a difficult time because there's a lot of really cool merch.
Yeah, for sure.
And these lines get really, really crazy. So hopefully the odds will be in our favor and we will get some of the virtual queues so we can get in and see a lot of this stuff firsthand. Ryan, with this article, there's all sorts of new merch picks that have been shared. Is there anything new that's catching your eye?
I think there was a set of ears, even though I don't wear a lot of ears because it's unless they have the removable bow. But oh yeah, there it is. It's got a Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey on it with the red bow in the middle. I kind of like that. I don't know if I'd wear it around the park, but I'd probably put it up somewhere.
I like that one too. That's on my list.
I like it as well.
And then there was this I don't know, is it Yensid? Is that what we're
I think that's what
saying?
they're doing. Yeah, I think it's a fun way to spell Yensid.
Yeah, I think that whole collection looks pretty neat as well. I think we were talking in the Discord at one point. I need a shopping buddy to put a stop to me buying too much, and that,
to be like, nope, no.
Another weekly tier said that I should just buy everything anyway. So if they're there, they should not be my shopping buddy.
So Ryan, the way that you should do it, and this will work for you if you can hold yourself to it, is preload a Disney gift card with whatever your budget is.
Oh yeah,
and that is your budget.
Sometimes it's space more so than budget necessarily.
I like this Roosevelt's one with Sorcerer and Mickey on it, this shirt. Like, I know this is like from this is just the regular merch, but I don't remember seeing that when we had talked about it before. So this Yensid thing is kind of interesting. There's like a period in front of it, and I guess they're trying to be hip or something. I guess I'm just too old for it now. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, these, like some of the medallions. There's the D23 medallions we talked about that I'm excited for. I'm going to have to send a shopping list with you and Teresa to pick some stuff up for me, even if it's convenient and you have enough space in
space again
in your bag. We'll just do like we did the one time, just buy a whole new bag and and bring it.
Okay, now what is this? We've got the Disney Experiences Auction, Rare and Remarkable Finds, which we've talked about. We talked about what you could get there. But look at, what is this underneath it here? There's like some sword in the stone. I don't know, earrings or
metal. It almost looks like a metal
or something, and a sword in the stone pin. What are these things now? Like, it looks like, have they added more things to this auction? I just didn't. Because there's also the like Disney 100 Years of Wonder, the medallion that was on Sleeping Beauty Castle that's shown here. Now I gotta look. I'm wondering,
a banner of some sort here too.
Yeah, but it looks to me like when we reported on this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, those weren't there. So have they added stuff? I think they may have added stuff because there's like an Animal Kingdom sign that I don't remember. There's a Hollywood Studios thing that I don't remember. They have. This is dangerous.
Oh yeah, they've definitely added some stuff because like I don't remember a couple of these things already.
Yeah, there's more banners and stuff. Oh no, Ryan, I know you were in Europe when this broke. So
What?
It's only $1 we can bid on it. Walt Disney Studios rare vintage animation desk.
Well, you know that it's somebody's going to outbid you.
House, but I could be the winner for like 2 seconds. Anyways, they've got a bunch of like posters. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going down such a rabbit hole right now. Ryan, they announced this. Did you see that? Yes, there's the auction, but they will also just have a dedicated show floor, like not show floor.
Oh
space,
yeah, so
dedicated space so we can go tour.
Go look at the stuff that we're not going to be able to afford to buy.
Exactly. Wow, they must have just added a lot of this stuff because there's a ton of things that are $1. Which when Tag and I reported on this, nothing. Everything had
already been bid on.
Yeah. Oh no.
Well, you're not looking. That's not the same thing because I clicked on the link. This is the everything they have.
Oh.
Yeah, you're looking at stuff that's everything they have. Because if you go up, like there's a category which has the stuff that's for this.
Oh.
You somehow clicked on like everything this auction house has. That's
see? Well,
scroll down. See,
here I got all excited.
Auctions. So there's a ton of different auctions. So that top one, that August 16th, that's the top. That's the one that has the stuff.
Oh.
And so now you'll notice that like your
my
drawing desk
list
and stuff
has
has gone away.
But look, this
shortened.
in-character thing is new. There's still some new stuff, just not as much.
Because I was looking, I was like, how did you get those things? Because I was trying to find it, and I wasn't finding it, but you had removed the filter or whatever. So apparently they have other stuff that's not going to be a D23 that you can also bid on through this stuff. So maybe you shouldn't have said anything on the show and you could have got the drawing desk for $1. But then you'd have to have it shipped, which would probably be thousands of dollars.
That would be a lot, yes. Man, I got all excited because there was a bunch of posters and stuff too. Anyways, there's still lots of cool stuff. I did not see any of the things that they have photographed here at the Laughing Places article, though. So now I'm confused again. Thought we figured it out, and we're back to square one. Disneyland recently rolled out the red carpet for over 1,800 of its hard-working third-shift cast members with an exclusive after-hours party all to themselves. The overnight crew got to enjoy open attractions, fun character sightings, a live DJ, and classic theme park treats like Plaza Inn fried chicken. To top off the well-deserved appreciation night, every attendee walked away with a custom-branded third-shift hat to commemorate the fun.
I think this is so fun because the third shift is obviously really important to the park, and that's the one that those cast members don't really get the interaction with the guests. So having a bit of stuff for us to see and a little bit of a moment for them to take their moment in the spotlight is fantastic.
Well, they're like the unsung heroes, right? Because they're like the overnight pixie dust magic makers that are doing so many things that we as guests like maybe don't even know they're doing and don't necessarily appreciate, but it's super duper important for them to do. It could be things from like, the horticulture team swapping out like the floral Mickey to all of the different beautiful flowers and plants throughout the resort to maintenance that's helped keeping up our attractions and doing little tweaks and stuff like that overnight so that things run smoothly for the park guests the next morning. All sorts of really cool and important things. This is fun. So that hat, they can wear it as part of their official costume as well as outside of work hours. So it's like a double duty hat. So that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool that they can, like, that's something that normally they wouldn't. But again, it's like nobody's really ever seen them on third shift. So, but it is cool. But like you as a guest probably won't see that unless it's like right at park close or maybe at park open if there happen to be some people there. But yeah, I feel like anybody who works third shift anywhere, like, are kind of unsung heroes and don't get a lot of recognition. So it's really nice that they get the recognition for this. And it's always good when the cast members just in general get recognition for anything. So
yeah.
Following a massive tournament in Las Vegas, Fantasy Flight Games announced that the Star Wars Unlimited Galactic Championship is moving to the Disneyland Hotel in May 2027. The 3-day competitive card game event is expected to draw over 3,000 attendees for high-stakes matches, open play, and panels. Fans heading to the resort can also look forward to scoring exclusive merchandise, event-only promo items, and unique collector rewards.
So, have either of you, this is not a trading card game that I got into, but I did notice when I was going to Lorcana leagues that some of the Lorcana people were also doing and getting into this Star Wars one. Is this something that either of you or either of your significant others got into? Because I know we've got a lot of game excited people in the group and Star Wars folks.
I have not seen this. The card designs look like Lorcana, but Star Wars, basically. But no, I'm gonna have to tell James about this because I don't know if he is aware. I feel like he probably is aware of it because he is in a bunch of stuff that like follows board games and card games and stuff because he's always looking for new things. So I assume that he knows about it, but maybe he doesn't. And maybe this will be an excuse for him to go to the Disneyland Resort area. And it's in May, so school's over. So maybe that's an option there. Because where it was in Vegas before, this seems like a much better place. Yeah, this is the
ultimate the Unlimited Galactic Championship. So it's probably a thing where you had to like you go to like, I don't know, regionals and kind of like work your way up to be able to go into it.
Is that what happened with Lorcana stuff? Was there something like that? Okay.
Yeah. Ryan, is this something that you or Kevin have taken a peek at?
I hadn't heard of it. I'll also send it to Kevin because he finds this stuff. I'm not really a card gamer, but he might be into this. Like because he was really into Lorcana for a while, but then I wouldn't play with him, so his options got
Why wouldn't you play with him?
Because I'm terrible at the game, and I guess I could get better, but
you should play with Teresa.
Ryan, you and I should play because I get easily distracted by like either the card art or if it's a song, I can't help but like sing it or like I get very involved.
That's what I would. I would just go through the cards and look at the art and everything. Yeah. So this one would be fun too because I love Star Wars as well. So I'd be interested in seeing it just for the art that they put on these things.
Okay, I am flabbergasted out of everybody in this group. I should have not been the person that actually had heard about this before.
But you are more into Lorcana than either of us, and it's the same kind of circle of like people.
Yeah, but like I said, it was only because like people in my Lorcana league, the local league that I had been going to, were also buying and pulling these cards.
Do the two of you, Ryan, when you did play Lorcana and Teresa with your Lorcana stuff, were you building your decks based on like what the cards looked like or the characters you liked or whatever? Because like that's how I was building my deck.
Kind of.
Because Teresa, you were trying to coach me that like you should do different things, and I was like, but I want to have the Hey card in my deck, and I want to have this card in my deck. And even James would be like, but that doesn't work well with what you're trying to do. And I'm like, I don't care.
As long as it's fun, that's all that matters, right?
That's true.
I attacked it the same way as Tag.
Yeah.
Good, okay.
None of us were going to become world champions, so really, who cares?
Well, you were doing well locally, though, weren't you?
I did win a couple, and then that kind of fizzled out. I think I got, like,
beginner's luck?
Beginners of everybody in the Lorcana world's luck. Because, I did. You're right. I did win. I forgot about that. I won, like, one or two of the first little local championships, and by that, it was, I don't know, like maybe a dozen other people playing, so it wasn't anything huge. Like I was the one that won out of 100 or something like that.
You still did that, but you still
I think the biggest one maybe was like 25 people.
That's really good.
That's pretty good.
And then I just kind of because then all of the people, which good for them, all the like Disney fans that also were like into things like Magic the Gathering and had the knowledge of how you build a deck and like what you need, like had strategy instead of me just being me, I guess. I don't know. Then they came in and that ended. But it was still fun.
Well, that's good. Well, the Disneyland Resort has bumped up its upcoming holiday season to officially kick off on November 13th, 2026, and run through January 6th, 2027. This adjustment moves the festivities up by 5 days from what was originally scheduled, nearly matching the calendar dates for Walt Disney World in Florida. Guests can look forward to a ton of classic holiday cheer returning across the parks, including festive ride overlays, the Believe in Holiday Magic fireworks, and brand new seasonal outfits for Mickey and friends.
I would love to know the why behind this. I don't remember in recent time them announcing dates for something and then having it shift this much. Like maybe a day or two, just so it would fall on like a Friday versus a Saturday or a Thursday, whatever. But not 5 days. I'm really surprised by this.
Well, they put the icicles on the castle so early anyway, so maybe they're just leaning into it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I know that they've done like more over the holidays over the years, and so and I'm sure that their staff is not maybe as large as it used to be for these transitions, but you're right that it seems like they should be able to wait until, especially with this starting on November 13th, that gives them almost 2 weeks after Halloween to swap the stuff. Mm-hmm. So why would you not wait to put take the pumpkin stuff off on the 1st or whatever, and then slowly, I don't know. You're right. I just feel like it transitions too fast.
Well, what we learned last year is because they're filming the holiday special,
the special
so early.
Well, they can wait.
Because remember,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we ran into that last year. That the castle, it was before Halloween, and the castle already had transitioned into full holiday mode. But they also then the last day where they had the stages, because they were the next day, I think, going to be doing the holiday tapings for the concerts.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, some of it might not even be Disney's fault, because we were just talking with somebody about D23 stuff, and it was because of contracts and talent availability and everything. So it could be that these performers that they want to have on their Christmas special, they're only available
right
at that time. So I guess, I don't know, I'd be picky about it. I'd be like, well, if you want to be in our Christmas special, you have to do it after Halloween. And you're too busy, well, we'll find someone else.
I'm still curious, so I'm still stuck on this. So the original date, November 18th, was a Wednesday. That feels weird that they were going to start holiday time on a Wednesday, because typically it's a Friday, if not potentially a Thursday. So now I'm kind of wondering, did someone just...
Oopsie?
Yeah, was this an oopsie?
I'm a typo in the marketing department somewhere?
Something, yeah, I don't know. But the other thing, too, that Tag had noticed, and we were talking about during our trip to the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet, is that it seems like Haunted Mansion, the transition to change from OG Haunted Mansion to Haunted Mansion Holiday feels like it's much faster and quicker this year than we've seen in years past. So that was kind of an interesting thing, too.
Yeah, because David Freshbake was saying that I think it closes on the 10th and reopens on the 22nd. So it's 12 days. I think it was a lot longer than that previously. I mean, we could be wrong, but that was my memory of it anyway.
Yeah, if they could have shaved it off the other way and left the original Haunted Mansion open for D23 day at the park, that would have been super.
I mentioned that to Teresa, and she was like, yeah, it's going to be closed over there. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I shouldn't say this in front of Ryan, because he's stuck, because he doesn't fly in till the 11th. I fly in on the 10th. Maybe I just tack on a park
probably
afternoon.
Is closed that day, though. That's probably the day it closes.
Oh, that'd be my luck.
You're going to miss it by one day. I'm going to look this. Oh, you're going to look this up, too?
I was going to look it up, but that's fine.
I'll look it up while you read the next story.
Okay. Disneyland is temporarily pressing pause on the popular Minnie and Friends character breakfast at the Plaza Inn starting on August 10th. Apparently, that's a big day at the parks. Don't worry, though. The restaurant itself isn't closing down entirely, so you can still head over for regular lunch and dinner options, like, of course, the famous fried chicken. The fun character breakfast is expected to make its comeback sometime in late September, though Disney hasn't announced an exact return date just yet. What do we think this is? I kind of thought that it was... the restaurant was going to have a refresh, and that's why the character breakfast was taking a pause. So maybe the character breakfast itself is getting a refresh.
Yeah, because they said they haven't released an actual reason, so it's hard to know. But it would be disappointing. I guess I wonder if anybody had reservations for character breakfast. I guess they're losing out on their meet and greet time.
Yeah. It's kind of a bummer.
So real-time follow-up. It appears that the last day of the calendar that has operating hours for the Haunted Mansion is Friday, August 7th. Because when I select the 8th, it says no times available, but it has times up to that. So I'm wondering if they did like they did with Christmas and changed the...
Bumped it up.
Bumped it up. But the Plaza, yeah, this is interesting. Like, I'm wondering what's going on here because it's on hiatus. And like you said, the restaurant's still going to be open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's going on there? I'm surprised also that like this is pretty popular. So I'm surprised they didn't like temporarily move it to a different location. Like, could they move it to like, I think you could probably move it to like Jolly Holiday. Well, no, that's
I don't
not
think
like
so.
That's not like a sit down. You could move it to what's the restaurant in the
Cafe Orleans?
you could do Cafe Orleans, but no, I was thinking, why am I
Blue
Riverbell
Bayou?
Terrace?
Oh,
Riverbell Terrace.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that the name? I feel like that's not the right name.
It is.
Maybe
Yeah, it is.
It is. Well, so while Minnie and Friends is, still paused, you can still do character breakfast dining at the resort, just not in the park. So you've got still Storyteller's Cafe, the Disney Princess Breakfast Adventures, and Goofy's Kitchen. So if you need to get some character dining in, you still can, just unfortunately for a short period of time, you just can't visit Minnie and her friends at the Plaza Inn. Well, Ryan and I will be heading out for D23 in just, goodness, a couple of weeks, down to days almost. And we have decided, of course, we want to see all of our fun friends and all of our weekly tiers while we're out there. So we're hosting an official DL Weekly meetup. So the plan is to meet after the Legends Cavalcade at 2:30, and we're going to be over by the Petrified Tree Trunk, which is along the Rivers of America. We hope to see as many of you there as we can. Our plan, though, we do have a dining reservation. So our meetup is going to be from 2:30 until 4 p.m. again on the Rivers of America. And the most important thing that I forgot to tell you is what day it is. It's Thursday, August 13th, which is, of course, D23 day. So we hope to see many of you there.
DL Weekly announces the boarding of the Trivia Express, non-stop star speeder service to the moon of Endor. All passengers, please prepare for immediate boarding.
Welcome, bienvenue, willkommen, our trivia land. How we doing tonight?
we in Paris?
Is this Small World related? What's happening here?
Oh, yeah.
Surprisingly, no, we don't have a single Small World question, even though I just fired at you in all those languages. But take Teresa, Ryan, how we feeling tonight? We got some brains full of knowledge. We ready to tackle some awesome listener-submitted questions?
I feel like the numbers are in our favor because there's 3 of us versus one of you, so maybe we'll do better.
Valid point. However, one of you is disqualified from question number 4 because you submitted it.
I wonder who that is.
So, Ryan, make sure you write
Can't
the
imagine.
answer down and show it on the Zoom video so we can get the right answer.
Yes.
You're on our
If
side
I remember
now.
what it is.
Oh, true. It's been quite a while since the submission, so we'll see how it goes. All right. Well, let's see how it goes for everybody. Your first listener-submitted question from listener Andy M. On Pirates of the Caribbean, what is the name of the island and what is the name of the specific town being ransacked?
What's the name of the island and what's the name of the town? Isn't it
Tortuga? That's what it was in the
Tortuga.
movie anyway.
But we're not in the movie.
I'm still going with it because I have no other answer.
And the name of the town.
This is a hint. We're not in the movie.
Overt's trying to be
There's
nice.
Lafitte Landing, but that's
That's when
the,
you get
the
on.
boarding place. I have no idea.
Isn't
Yeah,
there,
the movies permeated my brain too much, I think.
Yeah.
isn't there a... No, because that's just like the auction.
Doesn't Tortuga
sign.
mean turtle?
It almost looks
Banner.
like 3 keys or something. Like it looks like 3 butts of keys.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was just talking about like the banner that they had. 'Cause
Oh, that
before
just
it was
says,
like,
like auction.
yeah, because before it was like bride, something with the bride, or something with the wench, or something. And now it's something else with an auction.
I don't. Yeah, I have no idea what this is. So I'm going to be stumped.
Yep.
Okay, so on both points, the island and the town?
Yep.
Yeah. You know what, Teresa? Fatal mistake. We should have found someone to co-host with you that's like a Pirates fan. You both are Haunted Mansion fans.
Yeah.
You both have the same overlapping knowledge.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's across the board. All three of you saying stumped.
Yeah.
Okay. Your second listener submitted question from listener Disney Lover. Who did the voice of Ariel in the Little Mermaid ride at Disney parks?
I was going to say Ariel Benson, but now I'm not.
Ariel Benson.
Jodie Benson.
Jodie Benson.
I'm going with Jodie Benson, but I don't know if that's in the parks or not. I feel like she would have, right? Like,
Yeah, I think
know
so.
not everybody does. Like Tom Hanks has.
Tom Hanks' brother?
His brother does all the Woody Park stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Jodie Benson. Are you going with Jodie too, Ryan?
Yeah, that was my first inclination.
I mean, I'll
Are you
hop on your seashell.
grabbing our fins? I don't know how you hop on our seashell. Yeah, there you go. The seashell.
All right, so we're all going to ride the
that's
same
the
wave
attraction.
together and say Jodie Benson?
I think
Ride
so.
the same wave. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
How many different ways can we say we're all on the same page?
Boat. We're on the same boat. That's water.
We're going under the sea. All right. Now this next one's going to be a little detailed, so I'm going to need you to listen closely. This is from listener Jocelyn. Before Fantasyland was overhauled in 1983, there were 11 attractions.
Oh no.
One attraction was eliminated. Which four attractions kept their original footprint? Which 6 attractions were either moved or their footprint changed? And finally, what one new attraction was added?
Okay.
Pinocchio was
So-
added.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, Pinocchio was added. Was Dumbo and how many were how many did you say moved?
6 attractions moved or their footprint changed.
The carousel moved back.
Carousel moved. The teacups moved.
Teacups moved.
Did Dumbo move?
It must have done. Because where was the chicken of the sea?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Good
you're right.
point,
Yep.
Good point.
So does that mean that the
So then did
of...
Storybook and both
I don't
the
think
boats
so.
and the train get shifted too?
It'd be hard to shift
We have 3 things that were
Casey Jr.
There were 3 things that were shifted.
Unless it was like the entrance or
You
something.
only want
that's true.
Vern, you only want the answers of what his footprint has changed or moved.
4 attractions kept their original footprint. 6 attractions were either moved or their footprint changed. 1 new attraction was added, and 1 attraction was eliminated.
Okay, the
Name them all.
eliminated one was, what the heck was that called? The Welch's Juice something or other.
That's not an attraction though. That's a shop.
Oh.
It was there was a theater there where Pinocchio is now.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, because I thought it was weird.
Did the theater tie into Welch's Grape Juice?
I don't know, but I don't. It wasn't. I think it was just the
Maybe Welch
like the
was
Mickey
the
Mouse
sponsor.
Theater or something like that.
You're gonna say Mickey Mouse Theater?
Something like that.
How many have we got for moved right now? I've lost track.
3.
You have Carousel, Teacups, and Dumbo.
So then, moved or footprint changed? Did Toad's footprint change because of Alice
But Alice was there.
since the beginning?
Mhm.
Did hers change then? When did they add the birthday scene? We'll put Alice.
Yeah, because that'll be
Yeah.
that probably counts as footprint. So Alice,
Did Sleeping Beauty Castle footprint change at all with the renovation?
Oh, up in the castle.
I don't know.
I don't know if that would count. I'm
We're
gonna go with.
not count that as an attraction
Okay.
for purposes of this question.
Oh yeah, we got to remember we've got the boat, Matterhorn, and Small World is
Matterhorn
also...
wouldn't have changed.
No, I know, but like those, that's also. I was thinking
Skyway
like.
was also there at the time, but that wouldn't have
Yeah.
changed either.
No.
Well, here, those are the 4 that wouldn't have changed. Matterhorn.
I think there were 6.
Vern, are you asking for everything or?
Oh, I want it all.
Oh. Well, the
Then there's
Matterhorn, it's a small world. That's Fantasyland, technically.
Hang on. What renovation? What year?
Fantasyland, Maine. Let's not go as far out as Small World.
Okay.
Okay.
What about Skyway, since that has like...
We'll count that.
Okay.
Okay.
Since that was, the
Well,
Tomorrowland
then Casey Jr. and Storybook Land.
Do we think they may have adjusted? I'm thinking they may have adjusted.
I'm going to say no, but you can say yes.
Because we need 6, and that would be... We have 4, and that would be 2.
Sure.
The entranceway or something, maybe.
Yeah. Shifted.
Peter Pan.
Is the same.
So we need 4 that stayed the same, Vern?
Yes, sir.
Matterhorn, Skyway, Peter Pan,
Snow White.
and Snow White.
Yeah.
What about Toad?
Oh.
Toad might have adjusted if you think that Alice adjusted, then maybe because that eats into the same little
Yeah.
spot there. Yeah, we already got that, Deanne. The
I'm
teacaps
so
moved.
confused. Feel like we have more attractions than...
Let's consider Matterhorn to be too far off the beaten
Okay,
path.
Matterhorn's
Okay.
too far off. Okay.
So then replace that with Toad.
You don't think Toad moved?
No, I think Toad moved.
Because the Matterhorn we said didn't move, so the Matterhorn is freeing up a
Mm-hmm.
didn't move space.
So we'll
Right,
put Toad.
okay.
I'm just going to put Toad there then.
Okay.
And then we'll put Storybook.
So you think Toad is one that is a shift?
Yeah, we think... No, Toad stayed.
Stayed.
Toad stayed in place?
And we're going to say the Canal Boats and Casey Jr. shifted.
Okay.
I think we've got them all now. So,
All right. Give it to me.
Pinocchio was added.
Okay. What got eliminated?
The Mickey
the
Mouse Theater.
theater, which I think had some sort of sponsorship with Welch, but I could be completely wrong.
Okay.
And then the things that moved or footprint was changed: Carousel, Teacups, Dumbo, Alice, Storybook Land, Canal Boats, and Casey Jr. Circus Train.
Okay.
And then the 4 that stayed the same: Skyway, Peter Pan, Snow White, and Toad.
And Snow White. And...
I have mixed confidence on this
I'm
one.
excited to hear the answer to this one, though.
Yeah.
Who did this question, Vern?
This came from listener Jocelyn.
Jocelyn, good
Jocelyn.
question.
And
Good question.
I know the answers, and I'm going to say, wow, you came so crazily
So it
close.
probably was Toad
Oh.
and Storybook Land Canal Boats or something.
We will
We'll find
find
out.
out at the end.
Yeah.
And your final question that Ryan is not allowed to answer unless he's completely forgotten the answer.
There's a good chance that it's going to happen.
Yeah. Your final listener submitted question from listener Ryan P. On the water tower in the queue for Radiator Springs Racers, the sign reads blank blank, the home of the original blank blank.
Oh, no. Something, the home of the original Radiator Spring. I know it's Radiator Spring at the end. What did they call Carburetor County? Yeah, Carburetor County.
So you think Carburetor County, home of the
Original Radiator Spring.
sounds good to me. I'm jumping in your car.
You gonna take a ride in her jalopy?
Watch, it's probably like Radiator Springs, the home of the original something else.
Do you remember this answer, Ryan?
I think so, but I have mixed confidence in my own.
I would just like to
question.
say, whoever this Ryan P guy is, I don't know about him.
4 blanks and a single question? Who does that?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Some psychopath.
It sounds like something a Canadian would do, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, now.
Yeah.
All right, so you're saying Carburetor County, the home of the original Radiator Springs. Final answer.
Final. It's probably wrong, but that's okay.
You said that so
All right.
confidently, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listeners, how do you think they did? How did you do listening at home or at work or in your car, wherever you listen? If you stick around until after the discussion, we can all find out the answers together.
This week, our discussion topic is going to be talking to Tag and Teresa about their recent trip to the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet. And you guys just got back yesterday as of recording the episode, right?
We did. We got back late last night from the Pacific Northwest area, and it was just a long weekend trip. We left Thursday night our time and then came back Monday night. So quick trip, but it was filled with tons of Disney magic.
I also just want to say, just for people listening, Ryan, you also just got back from your trip.
Yeah.
So we're all still trying to adjust to our time zone was not nearly as bad as yours, but we are still trying to adjust. So if we seem a little off, we're always a little off, but if we seem a little off, more different than usual, it's because we're recovering from travel.
So this was also a bit more of a last minute trip for you guys, because when we had talked to Dawn on the show a few weeks ago, you guys didn't have any plans on going out there. And so this kind of came up in the last few weeks.
It did. So I'm going to blame Dawn because I was at peace with not going. And then he came on and was telling us about how cool it was going to be. And so I was like, oh man. So then that got me to thinking, which then got me to looking at flights. And I was able to find flights that were at good times at not crazy prices, even though it was last minute. They were pretty reasonable flights. Perfect times. So I just kind of reached out to Tag fully thinking it was going to be a no, because Ryan, we knew, was going to be on his trip in Europe. So he definitely was not going to cancel that to go to the mouse meet. He had plans. So I reached out to Tag and I was like, what do you think about this? Again, fully thinking that he was going to say no because he's finishing up his school stuff. He's got you're going on another trip this next weekend. So I'm like, the timing is just not going to work out.
Yep.
I'm going to just throw it out into the universe fully expecting to know, but you never know. And Tag didn't say anything at first.
I had to check with James.
And then all I got back was, James gave his blessing. It's good. So then everything just kind of fell into place after that.
I don't know why you thought that I might say no, because we had a discussion at some point, because I said, I kind of want to go to the mouse meet this year because I was saying that I love Becky Klein, and we know Sumner and Kay, and those were 3 of the 4 presenters for the mouse meet this year, and I wanted to see them because I just enjoy seeing them. But I was like, well, I'm not going to go out by myself, and I know that in the last couple of years, Teresa and I had decided with the podcast that the mouse meet happens on alternate years from D23. So I was like, well, Teresa's not going to do this. Plus time off and because it's hard. And so I was like, I don't think she's going to want to do it because she's doing D23 and blah, blah, blah.
It is a quick turnaround between 2 pretty big trips for me.
Yes. And so when she asked, I was like, I gotta ask James, because I if it was just up to me, I would have been like, yeah, no problem. And it was great. It was exactly what I hoped it would be. And we'll get into some of those reasons, I think, as we go through. But it was great. I was happy that Teresa reached out. And on kind of a sad note, this was our last official, me and Teresa, last official kind of podcast trip with both of us for the podcast. So that was a little bit different too.
But I think it was good because we went into this last trip knowing it was our last trip versus having had our last trip not knowing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But as I told Teresa, and I think I said this on the show a couple weeks ago or last week or whenever it was, I was like, Teresa, we're still going to go to Disneyland together at some point. Don't think that you have gotten out of this. So anyway.
So if we're talking about the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet, and a couple weeks ago with Dawn, one of the things that was new this year was quite a bit, was the new location and the new hotel. How did that experience impact things compared to other years that you guys have gone?
Yeah, so we can start with the hotel. Pros and cons of the hotel. The hotel was very nice. The hotel itself was very nice. The rooms were very updated, clean, comfortable, all the things that you really want in a hotel. But I do think, and maybe this will change because it was the first year in a new space, I do think the door decorating contest was impacted by it because the hotel had, instead of the hotel previous, which would have this big open, I don't even know how atrium space, and you had hotel doors just on one side. You weren't going down a typical hallway that had doors on both sides. There was just a lot more space for the hotels, plus just the layout of those rooms. There's kind of you'd walk into the old hotel And the first half of it was almost 2 rooms. The first half of the room was like a living area, seating area type thing. And then the bedroom was a separate space in the back. So a lot of people not only would decorate their doors at the previous hotel, but they would also decorate that entry space, I guess would be a good way of saying it. So you'd kind of be invited into the room. But like I said, how the layout was, they still had plenty of space for it to operate as a hotel as well as a place for the decor. And so I do think the door decorating contest did suffer a little bit because these were more standard hotel rooms. So there were a couple of rooms that did try and utilize the front space, but it was kind of just, think of like how a normal hotel is when you first walk in, you've got your bathroom to the right, and you've got a closet to the left, and then you go a couple of feet, maybe 5 feet, and then that's like where the beds are, and it was just one open space. That's how these layouts were. So we did have people get very, very clever and very creative. One group, we were talking to them because theirs was over the top elaborate. They were one of the winners. They did the Cave of Wonders for theirs. So you actually entered into their room like the Cave of Wonders, and they had all this beautiful like draping and treasure, and it was really, really cool and immersive. And they were telling us like that they're local, and so they'd actually visited the hotel, asked if they could see the rooms, took measurements. So they did a lot of research, whereas other folks maybe who were traveling weren't quite sure what they were getting into. So it's a little bit harder probably to plan for that sort of thing. So we did see a little difference in the door decorating contest overall.
Yeah. Because I was mentioning, because Don was trying to ask a lot of people for this. Actually, he was like, "Oh, what do you guys think of the hotel and everything?" And I said, I think the only thing that I really liked about the old hotel, I think the room and stuff, just from like, it's just a newer hotel. Let's just say it that way. Like, it's going to be better because it's newer. So it's a newer hotel. It's got a lot of like the more modern things. Like we ended up having access to this like little pantry room or whatever that had like little snacks we could get. Like that's not something that like older hotels generally have, that kind of thing. Teresa realized afterwards, or after the first day, that like there was like even a nice little business center. Because one day she was working on something while I was sleeping or something.
Yes, you were sleeping. I got up ungodly early. Like I was just awake really early for some reason.
And so she was like, I could have come down here and worked. She was doing some concierge stuff. So anyway, so there was that. And I said, you know, what I miss is at the old hotel, because of the atrium, you could stand on any floor and could kind of see where all the decorated doors were. So for us this year, because it's like a standard hotel, so think of it as like a long hallway on both. So you go up an elevator and there's hallways to right and left. And you just have to walk down this long hallway, and you can't really see the doors because they're like set back a little bit and all of this.
It's like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah. And so some floors we started at the top. It was seven stories. And we started at the top. We walked down and we're like, okay, well, there's, you know, maybe there wasn't anything up on 7, I don't think. We went to the 6th floor, and I think there was like 1 door on the whole hallway, maybe 2. And then we got down to like 4 and 3 seemed to be kind of where everybody was. But you didn't know. Like you had to literally just go to every floor and walk it to be able to see it. So that was kind of unfortunate. But there were still some people that did a really good job. Like Teresa alluded to, the Cave of Wonders one was amazing.
Yeah.
Luckily, they were at the end of the hall because there was a queue, and we were all joking about how do you get lightning lane for this and all of this stuff. So that was kind of funny. One of our listeners was there, Sean. He was dressed as a plaid. And so he's like, can't I just take everybody right up to the front? So that was kind of funny. But the hotel was great. The convention center or the conference center, I thought was interesting. In my mind, I imagined it being like the Anaheim Convention Center. There was going to be this massive cavernous thing, and I didn't understand how it was going to translate from the previous venue to this. But the conference center is kind of like broken up into spaces, and so it was kind of in the like meeting room spaces that it was. And I actually thought it was pretty good. I thought they had the food in a pretty good place. They really managed doing all of that. I really liked that they had the stage kind of in the middle of the room, and then they had vendors on one side, and then like speakers, like meet and greets on the other side. And when the speakers happened, like all of the other stuff shut down, which was kind of cool because you didn't feel like you were missing anything, because like literally the only thing that was happening was the talk. And then there was a little bit of stuff in the hallway for like auction items. The Lego guys that we talked to before with the Pirates thing that we talked about last year, they were there again. The cell painting.
One of the best things, yes.
The cell painting was cool.
Cell painting.
It was basically Teresa's Animation Academy, but at the mouse meet. And it was fun. She did really good because she picked Mushu, and the lady who was handing her the cell said, this is a harder one, because to get the color, the darker red, you have to mix the black and the red paint together. And Teresa was like, I don't know. But she did a really great job.
Some of the areas that you had to do that in were very, very small. So
you did a great job, though.
See how this goes.
You did a great job.
I did all right.
Of course, I painted Hey Hey, which was also challenging because there was like some fading. I don't think I did the fading really, but he turned out okay. But
that's what matters.
Your Mushu looked really great. It also takes a while for that to dry.
The other thing too with the hotel, I just want to kind of go back to, they had, for the Friday night activities, they had trivia, and they also had pin trading, and it was like much more expansive than I thought. When they said that they were going to do pin trading at the mouse meet, I kind of thought it would be like cruise pin trading, where you go around and it's part of like the door type thing. So you're trading with the board instead of, a person necessarily. But no, this was more like people were able to bring their collections and sit down at tables. I am too, like, that. For that type of pin trading, I'm too nervous to do, because I feel like that's more high stakes pin trading or something. It isn't, but in my mind it is. From all the conversations, because we walked through and just kind of briefly looked at people's collections, from all the conversations we were overheard, everybody was very kind and very welcoming and very, very positive. There was women in line behind us waiting to get in the mouse meet the next morning that were super excited with all the different pins that they were able to get and all the trades that they made. Like they had a really positive experience. So that was great. Trivia happened again. I placed decently high. Like, what was it? Like second or third?
Yeah,
I don't
Teresa
remember.
Was really
At first, I was like first, and then somebody it took a while for them, because it was out of a lot of points. It was over 100 points on this thing, and I think I ended up, maybe after people counted all their stuff, maybe I ended up in like either second or third place. I was pretty surprised, but I need to give a shout out to my fellow concierges, because they had a lot of the answers that I may not have come up. So it was a team effort.
I was
a group
laughing
effort.
because we sat down at the table and we had two answer sheets, and I thought we were just going to kind of work together. And then Teresa started hiding her answers, like, what did you put? And she's like, you whatever. Now, I didn't tell you this when we were doing it, but I realized that you would write the letter down as soon as they would say the right letter. So I just started watching for when your hand would move, and I'm like, oh, that's B. Oh, that's C. So funny. that was well, because Sean was sitting next to me, and it was like me, Sean, and like one concierge. Then it was you and the rest of the concierges. And I would look at Sean, and Sean would have this deer in the headlights look, like, I don't know what the answer to this is. So some of the stuff they did good. I felt that it was a little light on Parks trivia, but that's because that's where my wheelhouse was.
But it was we still
kind
a
of mix.
Acted as a group. I was surprised that I had just a couple more points than you, because I figured we were on the same.
Well, especially when you were hiding everything from me.
It was only a couple of times I did that.
Yeah.
It was funny.
It was funny.
I was
it was
just
fun,
doing
though.
That to razz you.
Yeah, it was fun, though. But I think there was 100 different trivia questions, and some of them were worth 2 points. But I think in the future, either it would have been nice to have like a break in the middle, or just had less trivia questions. Because towards the end, it was kind of like, we're still going. And we love trivia, but it was just like one of those things. So, but it was fun. The guy who was doing it was good.
Yeah, and he's just a fan. Like, he's not actually one of the volunteers. We met him later in the weekend, and we're chatting with him for a bit, and he just really enjoys doing it. And so that's just kind of his contribution to the weekend, is hosting trivia on Friday night.
We laughed with him because he's like, yeah, I did it. I even bought my own ticket to the mouse meet and still did that. I'm like, wow, you didn't even get like a free ticket or discount. Okay. But it was nice. It was cool. He did. And it was a good variety of questions.
Had prizes
some were hard
at the end.
Some were hard questions. Some were easier questions. There was sounds that they would play and music and stuff. So it was a variety for sure.
But it was fun.
So this is all on the Friday night.
Friday night.
And then Saturday was the main event. So how did you attack Saturday? What was kind of the order of things that happened that day?
Saturday was kind of nice, because with how the new setup was, I felt it was a little bit easier to kind of get everything done. So the first thing we did when we got in there, besides, chit chat with friends and catch up with folks, was before the first speaker took the stage, we actually went over and met with all the presenters and got our autographs. So we were able to meet with first Mark Henn, who is an animator and director for animation, and then Becky Klein, as well as Kay and Sumner, who are from Marceline and are from the Walt Disney Hometown Museum. So we went through the lines there and were able to meet and greet and get photos taken. So that was really fun. Then
it's like people did really realize that they were there early on because the lines were pretty manageable. So we got through that pretty quick.
I've learned now going to, this is my third mouse meet. That's what I did accidentally. The first mouse meet was go through and get do the photos and go to the, whatever you want to call it, the talent lines.
Yeah.
I did that first on the first mouse meet, and I did that first this mouse meet, but that middle mouse meet, we didn't. And they were kind of way off to the side, and so it was a little out of sight, out of mind, and you couldn't quite tell where the line was because part of it was in a room and part of it was outside. So that, we made a mistake there. So that was the longest that I had ever waited to do the autograph and photo thing. So I think the key for those listening, maybe it won't be a key anymore if we all do it, but is to go see the talent first thing. I think a lot of people feel like they really want to go shop or they really want to go look at all the raffle items, and they kind of forget that the presenters are sitting there right away because none of them have presented yet. So it's not really top of mind.
I think some of that too is obviously people, I think there's a mindset from some of the attendees that they want, especially with buying merchandise that's there or seeing what the vendors have, because some of the vendors have limited quantities of things. Yeah. So I think that their mindset might be the talent's going to be there a couple times throughout the day so that I could get later, but I won't be able to get this really rare thing that somebody might have. And so I can see why there was a different, but Teresa and I weren't really planning on, buying a bunch of stuff or anything. So it was just kind of to us, the talent was the important thing.
Yeah.
And the volunteers that were working the talent lines were super helpful. They took a lot of photos. They were super chatty with us, super friendly. A lot of his volunteers, this is the 16th year, and a lot of them had been there for all 16 years because the lady in line was telling us that she's done it for 16 years. And then Don was talking about all the people who had been with him for all 16 years. And that's crazy.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
So who was the first presenter that you got to see?
The first presentation was all about Marceline, Missouri with Kay Malins and Summer Nesbitt. So Sumner and Kay are, I guess, in charge of the Walt Disney Hometown Museum. Kay actually is the founder of the Hometown Museum and has you can tell that it's a project that's very near and dear to her heart. Of course, both Kay and Sumner have been on DL Weekly and shared the Marceline story with us a few times before. So, and Tag and I have been to Marceline 3 times. So the thing that was so impressive for both of us, and we even let Sumner know this later, was how they presented, because it was a dual presentation where Sumner was kind of going more towards the timeline and the facts, and Kay was telling all of the personal stories of when she met Walt and how the collection came to be, and how it was Walt's sister Ruth that donated her belongings, and that's why the museum exists today, because of that very generous donation and foresight from Walt's sister. So we have heard these things before, but I learned a lot of new information in this presentation, and it was about an hour and 10 minutes. So it wasn't, horrendously long, but as someone who has knows these folks, we've interviewed these folks, we've been to their museum multiple times, we've been to the Dreaming Tree Gala now twice. I was that was really impressive to me that we walked away learning quite a bit of new information.
I was really impressed. We ended up talking to Sumner a little bit later on, and we had to tell him that we were really impressed with how good their presentation was.
So good.
When you have 2 people presenting, sometimes it can be weird, who's going to say what, and is somebody going to say too much or whatever. There's all these things that could happen. And the way they did it was amazing. So they had a slide deck like you do, and Sumner kind of went through some of the slides. And then when it came to the personal stories, instead of just talking about Marceline and the thing, it was Kay, you've got a story about that. And then Kay would tell her story about this or her experience with different things or whatever. And then it would go back to Sumner, who would then continue on with things. And so it was a great partnership. And then in talking to Sumner, he's like, that was the first time we had ever gone through the presentation together. We're like, you wouldn't know because you guys did an amazing job.
And now I'm like, was he joking or was he serious? Because it was that good. Like,
it was good.
It was like a well-oiled machine.
And they
did
kept
a
on time.
wonderful job.
For the amount of stuff they shared, they kept on time with the window as well. So, and like Teresa said, every time you see somebody you've already like talked to, we've talked to them on the podcast, we've talked to them in Marceline, you think like, well, what else are they going to have? And like Teresa said, we learned a ton of new stuff. So it was a great presentation.
What was up after that? Did you get a break and some more social time, or did you go right into another presentation?
So after that was lunch, because the first presentation, so when was it? We were able to go in to get our badges and register and get checked in at 9 a.m. The quote unquote official rope drop was at 10 a.m. And then the first presentation was at 11. So by the time they wrapped up, it was a little bit afternoon. And so it was time for lunch. They had partnered with the convention center there and did some light Disney theming of different treats. So we had things on the menu like, what was it? The Plaza Inn chicken tenders. There were churros. There were Mickey shaped treats. I want to say cookies and maybe Rice Krispie treats. There were Bengal barbecue skewers. There were some
Chicken
different
skewers,
wraps and
pulled pork sandwich,
mac and cheese. And they had all of them were kind of tied, but none of these things were the original recipes. So it wasn't like they got the Bengal barbecue beef skewer recipe from Disneyland. Right. And, that it wasn't like an exact copy. It was all loosely themed. What was the mac and cheese? Was that for?
There was Hungry Bear mac and cheese, and then there was Bear Country barbecue mac and cheese. Yep. And, sometimes you go to these events and they're fairly pricey. I thought that their pricing was actually really reasonable, especially compared to the previous venue. Yeah. So, like, we got the chicken tenders, which is a decent amount of chicken tenders and fries, and it was $10.
Yeah, I want to say it was 4 chicken tenders. So we were indecisive. Shocker, I know. So we ended up getting the chicken tenders, the mac and cheese, and then a churro. And we got strawberry dipping sauce. It was a stuffed churro, which I don't think we knew that when we got it. And so we were a little like, what is? Oh, it's like
surprise.
it's like a cream cheese filling in here.
$6.25 for the churro. So that wasn't, not
and it
bad.
was like almost the size of a Disneyland churro. It was not as good as a Disneyland churro, but it was definitely better than a Walt Disney World churro.
Yes.
And then I got a mint julep to drink, and I think you just got a soda.
Yes, so that sounds right.
Our favorite thing, apart from the churro, was the mac and cheese. We were pretty impressed with the mac and cheese.
Good. It was so creamy. So creamy. I wanted to try the barbecue mac and cheese, but Teresa didn't want to do the barbecue, and I wasn't going to. Even what we ordered, when we ordered it, I was like, this isn't going to fill both of us up. And then by the end of it, we were like, there's still some left, and we're both full. So
it was a good
crazy.
Plan.
Yeah.
We went in with a good plan.
So then after lunch, it was Becky Klein who came on to talk, and I had to rave to James last night when I was telling him about the event, because the thing, because I love Becky Klein. I think she's amazing. We all love Becky Klein.
And we've been very fortunate. Becky is someone that we've also seen present at multiple occasions. Yeah. So we've seen her present for big D23 Expo sized things. We've seen her present for D23 like fan club smaller presentations that were just kind of like the month. I don't remember what they call it. It's not the Spotlights. Is it the Spotlight series?
I don't know.
Maybe it is the Spotlight series. When they were doing like the month, like once a month presentations, we were able to catch one of those. And we've seen her present at the Disneyana Fan Convention, which is a non-Disney run thing. So we've seen kind of the full scope of her presenting at things.
Now, she made it clear to us at the beginning of her presentation that she never really talks about herself. It's always about the things. And Dawn, it sounded like Dawn kind of said like, we want to have you here. Talk a little bit about how you got like to where you are. So the first little bit of her presentation was like how she kind of grew up into being interested in doing the archive stuff, working at Disney and kind of working her way into the archives and through all the positions that she's had up until the position she has now. And then she transitioned from that into just talking about some archives things. And the fact that like she never, like, I didn't know any of this stuff about her, like what her history had been, other than like whatever's on her like bio page or whatever.
Sure.
And so it was really nice that she had photos from when she was younger and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was really nice that she shared that part that she doesn't normally share with everybody in this kind of, if you could call it an intimate event or intimate thing, more than like, you know, like a D23 thing. What did you think?
Ryan, you would get a kick out of this. I don't know if you knew this or not, but one of the things that Becky shared was she actually went to school for like music theater, and she's
really?
a singer. Yeah. So that was actually like what she went to school for was, you know, acting in music theater. And she was kind of joking, you know, like, but like most of the actors, I ended up having to find a job doing something else. And so that's how she got into the, what was it, Huntington Library?
Yeah.
And started work. It's a rare books library. And so somehow that, you know, kind of translated and kind of then led her to the archives, was that kind of happenstance in between job when there wasn't any like theater acting gigs out there that she was going to be able to take to, you know, pay the bills. So I thought that was such an interesting path and transition. And I also didn't know, because I thought she went right from the library to the Walt Disney Archives, but she actually was in a different part of Disney, the Walt Disney Company, for 4 years. It was like consumer products or something like that, I think. So I didn't know that.
And then she was like, there's a title for it, and I don't remember what it was, but she basically was like the front desk person for the archives, which I was like, and she was in that position for a decent amount of time. And I'm like, that's just amazing. It's like the Disney thing, right? Like they do a really good job promoting from within. It's like, you went from secretary to you are now the director of the Disney archives. Like, how freaking cool is your life? Anyway, she loves it. She was great.
The other amazing thing, and I got to actually like pull up the photo, because she brought some items from the archives with her. And, you know, I just kind of realized as we're talking through this, she didn't actually like present on those items at all. She just had them like on the table with her, which was very fun. Oh yeah. Well, one of them's not part of the Walt Disney Archives. That is like her personal item.
It was her personal Winnie the Pooh, which was awesome. Her
personal Winnie the Pooh teddy bear, and he came up on stage with her. But she had a set of Drink Me bottles, of course, in multiple sizes from the live action Alice in Wonderland, so the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland. And then there was things from the Rocketeer. There was, I don't know, like blueprint plan looking things, and
like a model of the jetpack or something.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's like the Rocketeer's head on a stick. We should have asked. We were talking to her about so many different things and those are just kind of off to the side that we forgot to ask, and they didn't have little like plaque things. And then there was also like binoculars that was over with the Rocketeer stuff. So it was very, very cool, very interesting. I did have to ask, how does this happen? Like, how did they, like, did you ship these? She carried them on the plane with her, because I was like, how do you like ensure these very like things that are irreplaceable and very like valuable? How does this happen? And so she carried them on the plane. I'm like, that makes sense.
That reminds me of the story that Kay, I forgot to mention this. One of the stories that Kay told was when she went to Walt's sister's house to like pick up the stuff for the museum. They had rented like a moving truck, and the moving truck was like, "Oh, do you want insurance for it? Like, we'll cover everything you put in it." And it was like super cheap or something. She's like,
$75.
Yeah, she's like, yes, because it was like, obviously the stuff she was carrying is priceless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of funny because she had to drive it halfway across the country. But yeah. So, yeah, I thought it was funny that she brought her Winnie the Pooh, because I thought it was like from the movie or something. And she's like, nope, he's been with me for a really long time. And she brought him up on stage and kind of had him sit there while she was presenting. And then at the end, what was the story she told at the end where she got kind of emotional? Oh, it was the video that they did about like finding the item, because they did that short where like an animator found the item. And anyway, like she said, every time I see this, I tear up a little bit. And she was like wiping away tears. And then she was hugging her Winnie the Pooh of like comforting. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, because it's a short. I've seen it before. I'm trying to remember.
I'll find it and put it in the show notes, because I've seen it on YouTube.
They follow a maquette of Pinocchio. And so you first see the Pinocchio maquette on the animator's desk. And he's, an animator of the film. And then after the film's done, he tucks the little Pinocchio maquette in his locker. And then it kind of fast forwards to quote unquote present day, where Becky opens the locker and kind of like stumbles upon and was like, oh my gosh, look what we just found, kind of thing. It's like them finding the maquette. They go through this whole thing of like what the whole process for the archives is. So it gives you a behind the scenes of what it is they do when they're taking an item in. So you see them measuring and taking photos and scanning and all sorts of different things. And then the end of it, they are doing a display actually at the Carthay Circle in DCA, where they have not only the Pinocchio maquette, but different maquettes from Pinocchio. And actually, I don't know if you noticed this, there's a photo in the back of Walt with all of these maquettes, and they had them exactly placed in these exact same way that photo was with Walt. So that was very cool. And then it kind of it like turns the camera around and you see, because the animator had like a conscience, like official conscience badge on, and you see him with his family, like as an old man, kind of like having a moment and like thinking back to his time as a young animator and stuff like that. And she told us who played that person. I can't remember now. It was either Frank or Ollie's like son. So one of the famous animators, one of Walt's 9 old men, their son was the one that actually played the quote unquote old animator in this little short. And it was just very, very, Disney, that like they just pulled at the heartstrings.
Stop
You
the
were
presses.
on a whole different thing.
I'm on the Disney Archives page. The Walt Disney Archives has a Discord?
Oh.
Oh.
Well, we'll have to check that out.
Yeah, sorry. I got very excited for a second.
Anyways, we'll try and see if we can find this short. I've seen it other places and it's been like a Disney presentation that they've shown it at, and it gets me emotional each time that I've seen it too. Even just like saying it, I was like, oh, it's just so sweet. It just really pulls at the heartstrings.
Disney's so good at that.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, we'll find it and put it in the show notes.
If it's publicly available, maybe it's not publicly available. Anyways.
So one of the other things that I really enjoyed when I was there was the charity raffle they do for a couple different charities that they work with. And one of our weekly tiers has won a number of times. Did he win again? And if so, what did he win? I don't know if his luck has run out this time.
He did not win this year. We were joking at his expense, that so he just got a new job and he purchased tickets to go to D23, not knowing if he was going to be able to go or not, and he wasn't able to go. And we had an idea where maybe he could donate the ticket because Michael Vargo was also there. So we're like, maybe there's some Disney magic they can work and you could donate the ticket and have it be one of the auction items or something like that. So that didn't happen. They weren't able to get that. They weren't able to get it transferred and all that, which is understandable because we're past all the time, but he tried. And one of the things though is like Michael Vargo, again, the head of D23, was there, and they did a last minute giveaway or like a last minute raffle. And it was for all attendees. Everybody got a raffle ticket at the door, and they had one big thing, which was a VIP tour of the Walt Disney Studios lot where you got to go around and do more than just the standard tour. And typically with those VIP tours, you have either like Becky Klein or Michael Vargo's taking you around. So you're getting a VIP like tour host as well. And you get to see a little bit more than the norm. So that was the like big grand prize that everyone in attendance had the ability. Everybody was automatically entered. We'll say that. And then they had a surprise one where they were going to give away a 4-pack of tickets to the D23 Ultimate Fan Event, aka the D23 Expo. So we were joking with the weekly tier. We're like, if you win, like if this is what you end up winning, that's going to be like so sad because you already have tickets and you already cannot go because of work. So yeah. So anyway, he did not win that either. Thank goodness. We were joking. We were like, just don't say anything, and then they'll pick someone else. But yeah. So no, he did not win. But one of the other weekly tiers that we saw there did win. So that was pretty exciting. So there's still some DL Weekly luck running out there. Great. For all of the different like door prize raffle ticket people.
Also shout out to all of the weekly tiers that we met at the Mouse Meet this time because there was quite a few people that we met
I should
off
have
and on.
kept count.
Not only at the Mouse Meet, but we also ran into a couple folks at the event that happened the next day, which we'll get to eventually. That was the D23 Beauty and the Beast anniversary event.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a pleasure meeting all of you who we
Yes.
met this weekend. So hopefully you enjoyed the weekend as much as we did.
Yeah.
Now, Teresa, did you get to check in with Michael Vargo? Because you and I had been joking about the scheduling of some of the events for the Ultimate Fan event. So you said you might check in and see what's up with that.
I know. We did talk about it. I was very kind and said, this year was quite hard because there was a lot of things that I wanted to do all at the same time. And he just kind of laughed. He's like, no, I know. Like we can never get the schedule perfect. So I told him, I also let him know that I'm maybe not the best slice of like, what the audience wants, because I was not liking that, like the Bed Knobs and Broomsticks panel was at the same time as the Alan Menken panel, which was at the same time as the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse panel. Like, not everybody wants those three things.
So different things,
but I wanted to go to all of them.
Yeah.
So then the last presentation was by Mark Henn. What did you learn and see from him?
He is fantastic. So Mark Henn worked with Walt Disney Animation, and he also did some directing for Walt Disney Animation. And he is best known for doing the animation for a lot of the very, like, when you think Disney princesses, who do you think type folks? So he was a supervising animator for some of the most beloved princesses, including Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, Mulan, and Tiana. And so he also did other things. He was kind of like trying to talk like, I'm not really sure why I became like the princess guy and like why it was that I was always trusted with these characters.
Well,
but he felt very honored.
His first thing that he was talking about was that they wanted him to animate Mickey Mouse.
Oh, yeah, that's
in
right.
Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
And he was like, you want me to who? Like Mickey Mouse? Like, that's like one of the most important characters that you have. And do you remember why that? I thought he had led in. I don't remember why off the top of my head, but I think it got wiped from my brain when he said this, was telling about this. I was like, that is crazy.
But I mean, and he did he also talked about, I think he did Tiny Tim in Mickey's Christmas Carol as well. I'm trying to remember. Oh, that's right. He started as an in-betweener on The Fox and the Hound, and he was specifically talking about how he worked on the scene with the bear attack, I guess would be the best way to explain that scene. So he went from that to then being the animator of Mickey Mouse for Mickey's Christmas Carol. So that was pretty amazing. But then he that's when he kind of became the princess guy. He worked on other things like The Great Mouse Detective and a lot of other films in that time
and the computer animated stuff too.
And, he also transitioned and was doing some of the
Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen, Moana, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Frozen 2.
He was more kind of a mentor and kind of helping the next generation of animators with that. He was talking about how it wasn't. He did do some sequences for computer animation, but then really he was used more so for doing quick like storyboards and edits because it's way faster to hand sketch some things to test things out versus do the computer version of that. So he and some of the other older animators, like the classic traditional animators, helped with those films in that part. And he would kind of do stuff like explain how to animate, like maybe how to make a scene more interesting, because he was talking, and really it's true, an animator is basically just an actor with a pencil, or in the computer age, an actor with a computer, and you kind of you're bringing these characters to life with all their different little intricacies and all their different little things that they do. And it was really fascinating. And I love meeting animators just for that reason, because when you see like maybe a photo of who this person is, you might just assume like, oh, like he looks like a nice, like a regular guy. But watching his mannerisms and kind of the fun, like I thought he was hilarious.
He was
like
funny.
He was kind of like a secret agent, like hilarious person, because he would just do all these little things that, so like, for example, he was talking about when he was animating Jasmine, he was kind of having a little bit of a not writer's block, animator's block, because he was trying to be very conscientious, and he didn't want all of the princesses that he had worked on to sort of all look the same, right? He wanted to make sure they were all unique and individual, and so he was trying to like figure out what Jasmine would look like, which is another thing that like blows my mind, right? Is these characters came out of someone's brain what they look like. It's not like the animators just like, well, here's Jasmine and just go like make her do things in the movie. No, they have to also create what these characters are going to look like. But he pulled a photo out of his wallet because there was a photo that was kind of a photo of his sister that kind of helped get his inspiration juices flowing on the character design for Jasmine. And so he took his wallet out and set it on the table, which was between him and Dawn. And when he set it down and then kind of like looked at Dawn and then just like slowly like moved it back towards himself. And then you saw that in real life and realized like that is totally something you'd see in an animation cartoon. Like just that little funny little like extra, you like, didn't need to do that.
You don't trust Dawn with your wallet.
Like that funny little, that one little move like had so much to say in it and so much humor, and just he did several things like that throughout the weekend, and I just absolutely loved it because it was like seeing, like I said, like an animated character like in the flesh almost with those fun little things.
Two other things to note in his career was he went to Cal Arts at the character animation program, and he wasn't the same year as, but was there when John Lasseter and some other famous folks were there. So that was interesting. So he showed some photos of him with these groups of people, and John Lasseter, like a young John Lasseter, was there. Also, to bring it full circle, because he had to draw Mickey Mouse for the Mickey's Christmas Carol, he also was Mickey Mouse's official portraitist for Mickey's 90th birthday in 2018.
Yes, that's right.
So how cool is that like at the beginning of his career, he somehow had to do this, and then he got to have the honor, I think it's a pretty good honor, right? To draw a portrait of Mickey Mouse for his 90th birthday. So he also worked on some stuff during like COVID and stuff for Disney Plus, which was, I had forgotten they even existed. It kind of makes me want to go back and watch them. But yeah, so
supervising animator for Disney Presents Goofy and How to Stay at Home and binge watching. And then he also previous to that did the short with Goofy of the How to Hook Up Your Home Theater. I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but it's good. It's so good. So we talked about a lot of the princess films, but he also was the supervising animator for Young Simba. He worked on Pocahontas, Lilo and Stitch, Home on the Range, Winnie the Pooh, of course, Princess and the Frog, as we mentioned before. And then the only computer animated film that he was an actual animator on was Meet the Robinsons. So yeah. So anyways, fascinating career, and the fact that we watched him become a Disney legend at last year's D23 fan event, and then B, that he is one of the people that worked on all like the quote unquote Renaissance era of Disney animation and was in the company during that very pivotal and transitional time. So that was very, very cool to hear from him and to kind of hear his stories of different things that he did and like how near and dear to his heart it was and still is. And we also got to hear some of the different like shenanigans and stuff that they got up to in animation. So it was very, very, very cool.
Jumping ahead a little bit, just because we're on the topic of Mark Henn, on Sunday, there was the special 35th anniversary screening, which is of Beauty and the Beast, which is wild to me that it's 35 years old, because I saw that in the theater and I'm younger than 35. We'll just
how is that possible?
We'll say, yeah, it's weird. But did you get to see this? And what did Mark share at this that might have been different than what you saw at the Mouse Meet?
It was a cool event because it was held fairly close to where the Mouse Meet was held at one of the movie theaters there. And as part of the event, we got a free drink and a free popcorn and a pin and a lanyard, and we got to go in and see the presentation. And they did a good job. I just want to point out that I thought they did a really good job overcoming technology, because they had two microphones, one for the D23 presenter and one for Mark, and the presenters like stopped working. So they had to share a microphone, but they did really well back and forth on that. So that was really, really great. It was a full house.
It was a full house, and it was not a small theater. It was a very large theater.
Yeah, it was, I will say, well, I'll get to Mark or we'll get to Mark in a second, but I remember like you, because, we're both like 25. seeing Beauty and the Beast in the movie theater as a kid, and I have not seen it in a movie theater since then, and so it was really cool to see this movie in a theater again.
Mm-hmm.
I was also really impressed, especially with the opening with the stained glass and stuff. It looked so crisp and cleaner than I remember, even on like Disney Plus or like a DVD or anything. And I was really impressed with all of that. So I was like, oh, did they clean this up? I don't know. But Teresa was like, I forgot how amazing this opening scene was.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really cool. So what did Mark?
Especially seeing it like that, like going
It was
through
huge
the,
screen too.
Going through the multiplane scene of the forest to the castle on this giant. I mean, this screen was like not an IMAX, but like
it was the entire wall.
Yeah, bigger than a typical screen type thing. It was massive.
Because
so
in a normal theater screen, when you're watching it, you'll either have like a little bit of curtains or something on the right and left,
and
or you'll have some on the top
full,
and
yeah, I was
bottom.
going to say, you definitely don't have full top and bottom. But
this was the entire wall.
Massive.
So
it was very cool. The Mark Henn presentation was great. He did a really good job knowing that he would have a lot of the same audience both days. So during the mouse meet, he just shared 1 or 2 stories with Beauty and the Beast. So then it was a lot of new information that we got to learn during the D23 screening. So some of the fun, cool things was he was talking about some of the scenes and how, like, which ones he really enjoyed animating. So one of the ones that he really enjoyed was, because when you're watching these things, you kind of forget that it's not one person doing the whole picture that you're watching. So he was the animator for Belle, whereas somebody else was animating the Beast. And so they kind of separately animated all of the scenes that those 2 characters are in together. And so he's talking about, how they were both having a lot of fun with when Beast got injured and she's trying to like clean up the injury, and how they're kind of like snapping at each other a little bit, and tensions are kind of high. So he was talking about, how fun that was to kind of create. And then we had a joke the day before, spoiler alert, when Belle tells the Beast that she loves him, and spoiler alert, when the Beast then transforms, which he was joking, it was kind of tongue in cheek, since again, the film had been out for 35 years and he's addressing a room full of Disney fans. Of course, everybody's seen it. So he was talking about how like those were also really fun things to animate. And even stuff like the scene with Belle when she's walking into the West Wing and looks into the broken mirror, and how he really enjoyed animating all the different versions of Belle and the shards of glass, which again is something that as the person taking in and watching the film, you kind of take for granted that, wow, yeah, no, somebody had to physically draw all of that, and you just forget how, because it looks so good that you forget that it was manually done. I guess would be a good way of saying it.
It does what it's meant to do. It takes you into that world and you completely forget what you're looking at, 100%. Really. And I always think it's amazing, like what Teresa was just saying. Until the presentation, I knew this from other things I had seen before, but I had forgotten that they have to animate these things separately. And so it's like amazing to me that you could animate 2 characters. Like the other one was, like Teresa was saying, at the end where the Beast is on the ground and Belle is kind of over top of him and crying. It was amazing that those things work so well together. The other thing Mark said at the other presentation, I think, was one of the things he was taught, which, again, not being an animator, you wouldn't think about this, is how to draw feet and shoes and stuff so it looks like it's actually like interacting with the ground, because obviously in an animation it's not. And I was like, I never thought that would be something that you'd have to pay. But of course, it makes sense now that you say it. And then another layer being those 2 characters together. So, yeah.
It was fascinating. Overall, just fascinating. And then just very fun to watch Beauty and the Beast on the big screen. That was not something I ever got to do. So that was the first time I got to enjoy that on a massive screen, too, at that.
It feels so much like more grand, doesn't it? Because, like, you realize... Like when they had like at the end, like the castle scenes with Gaston and stuff, like the castle feels so much larger in a theater than it does when you're watching it. Even if you have a big screen TV at home, it just scales up everything and you realize how like grand a lot of the stuff was. And the sound, we were in a pretty decent sounding theater too. And the sound was pretty good.
So jumping back then, I guess, to Saturday after Mark's presentation, was there anything else that was happening, or was that just sort of the wrap up of the
That was sort of the wrap up. I think there was a little bit more shopping that you could do after his presentation. The end, they wrapped up with the charity raffle. and the door prize type raffle. So that's kind of how they wrapped everything. So it was a super fun event. Huge kudos again to Dawn and the entire Pacific Northwest team for everything they did to create such a magical, fun thing for all of us Disney crazy people to come and enjoy together. It's just, we got to meet a lot of new friends, got to catch up with a lot of old friends. It's fun now that we've been a couple of times that you recognize and you see familiar faces that are folks that attend this year after year. So it's kind of this nice, it's something like, I don't know, not like a class reunion, but something similar to that, where you just kind of, it's just this really fun, nice space that they've created for all of us to enjoy. And I can't even imagine, I can't wrap my head around things like D23. I still can't even wrap my head around putting together an event like the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet, but dang, we are super glad that they do these things for us because we really, really enjoyed them.
One of the things we didn't mention, but if this is the new venues that they're going to be at in the future, don't be discouraged by on a street view or on a map. It looks like these two venues, the hotel and the convention center, look further away than they actually are from each other. Teresa and I actually, one of the things we didn't talk about, we went to the Funko Pop Museum and we walked back to the hotel from the Funko Pop store.
Yep.
And we walked past the convention center on the way, and it was like a 20-minute walk.
Yeah,
like,
it's about a mile.
Yeah, so like it wasn't bad. And you're in the Pacific Northwest. Like, it was warmer that day, but like it wasn't hot by any means. It wasn't like we got back to the hotel, we were like sweating or anything crazy.
It was a nice, enjoyable walk, for sure.
So don't let that discourage you if you're thinking about going in the future and you're like, I don't know. You obviously could get like an Uber or something as well, but it's not a bad walk.
Yeah.
And again, thank you, Dawn, for having us out, because it was a great event, as always. Well, you've heard us talk about our great experiences staying at the Howard Johnson Anaheim. Well, right now they're offering an amazing deal. You can get a $100 Disney gift card with your stay. If you stay 3 nights or more at the Howard Johnson Anaheim Hotel and Water Playground, you get a $100 Disney gift card at check-in. You can use it for breakfast, snacks, dining, souvenirs, Lightning Lane, and more. They say you can mobile order your breakfast from your room in the Disneyland app and then grab it as you walk into the parks. That's a good time saver, I think. So if you want to get this deal of a gift card for $100, go to our website, DLWeekly.net, and click on the Howard Johnson logo, and then just choose the Breakfast is on Us rate. So valid on direct bookings, 3+ nights through Labor Day 2026, subject to availability.
You will also need to make sure you enter rate code 10000 39023.
Oh.
Don't worry, we will have that in the show notes for you, so you don't have to rewind 100 times to write that rate code down.
Perhaps she knows too much. You've seen the cursed trivia. You know where the answers be hidden. Now proceed at your own risk. These be the last friendly words you'll hear. You may not survive to pass this way again.
Welcome back to Trivia Land, where we are going to find out the answers to tonight's questions, and we're going to see how our trio of terror, our trifecta of knowledge, Tag, Teresa, and Ryan did. How are we feeling? Did we get all the right answers? Do we know it all?
We're going to learn a few new things, I
Wow,
think.
your enthusiasm abounds. My goodness. All right. Well, your first listener submitted question from listener Andy M. On Pirates of the Caribbean, what is the name of the island you visit, and what is the name of the specific town that is being ransacked? Tag said he was stumped. Teresa said she was stumped. And Ryan said he's stumped. The correct answer that I was looking for was the Isla Tesoro, which is translated to Treasure Island, because of course it is. And the town is Puerto Dorado, or the Golden Port. Your second listener submitted question from listener Disney Lover. Who did the voice of Ariel in the Little Mermaid ride at Disney parks? Teresa very confidently jumped in and said Jodie Benson, the original voice of the Ariel in the first animated movie. Well, the animated movie, and then she had a cameo in the live movie. And then Tag and Ryan jumped right on that seashell and rode along and said, yeah, Jody Benson sounds good. The correct answer that I was looking for is Jody Benson.
Oh,
Mhm.
good job, Teresa. And Ryan. Because I think you both came up with that.
Yeah. Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Your third listener submitted question from listener Jocelyn. Before Fantasyland was overhauled in 1983, there were 11 attractions. 1 attraction was eliminated. 4 attractions kept their original footprint. 6 attractions were either moved or their footprint significantly changed, and 1 new attraction was added. You said Pinocchio was added, replacing the Mickey Mouse Theater. Toad's Wild Ride, Peter Pan's Adventure, Snow White's Ride, and the Skyway entrance were the ones that kept their original footprint. And then you said that the footprints being changed
Or moved.
or slightly moved was the Carousel, the Teacups, Dumbo, the Canal Boats, Casey Jr., and Alice. You were so close.
I never know to get nervous
this
when
is
he
great.
changes the order of how we said it.
The correct answer that I was looking for. Pinocchio was the new attraction added.
Woo!
Skull Rock was eliminated.
Oh.
Mhm.
That's an attraction?
Yeah, I wouldn't have counted that as an
They
attraction.
counted as an attraction. Yep.
I guess Tom Sawyer Island's an attraction.
Dark rides keeping their original footprint. Peter Pan,
Oh, he said,
Mr. Toad, Snow White, and Alice in
I was
Wonderland.
gonna say he said dark ride, so
And the ones that shifted, Casey Jr., Storybook Canal Boats had changes to their tracks and layouts.
woo!
Dumbo, the Teacups, and the Carousel were all shifted to provide better traffic flow. Fantasyland Skyway Station was completely rebuilt and reoriented.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
Well
so you
then.
were so close. I think you flipped like 2 of them and you didn't know about Skull Rock.
Yep.
Wow.
That was,
was-
pretty close because we flipped Alice and Skyway.
Yeah.
See, I just don't think I would have considered Skull Rock an attraction. That's where we got messed up.
Yeah, that was amazing. So well done. Do the high five thing. And like
Do
hit
the
the
high five
monitor
thing.
for Ryan or something.
Ryan, you can high five yourself too. There you go.
Nice.
When you guys are there for D23, you'll have to take another video of Ryan
high five?
high-fiving himself and then you two high-fiving.
Oh.
We'll have to add that in the Discord
Yes.
to replace me doing it.
Bye, Felicia.
And your fourth and final listener submitted question from listener Ryan P. On the water tower in the queue for Radiator Springs Racers, the sign reads, blank blank, the home of the original blank blank. Tag and Teresa, because Ryan was disqualified, said Carburetor County, home of the original Radiator Springs. You got half of it.
Okay.
It was the home of the original Radiator Springs, but you forgot the founder of the town, Stanley,
Yeah.
and it's
Oh,
his
Stanley's
oasis.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley's Oasis, the home of the original Radiator Springs,
Wow.
Or Stanley.
and his goofy statue
We forgot
in
poor
front of the fire
Stanley.
station.
Yeah.
Well, we got
The
half.
fact that you got half
Not
of it
too
was pretty
bad.
Good. Yeah.
Could be worse.
Is that what you had remembered, Ryan?
Yeah, I had remembered right.
Wow.
Thank goodness.
Well done, sir.
I was going to say next week, James will have to go through all the Ryan P submissions and get those out of the queue.
There should only be one left.
Okay.
As far as I can find, at least. So unless there's some hiding somewhere, James has been squirreling them away.
Yeah, we don't want to throw away your good trivia, Ryan.
Yep. I've been doing the best I can to get rid of all of them. Not get rid of, use them up. So,
Work through them, yeah.
yes, work through them. That's what I was looking for. Yep. Well, listeners, how do you think they did? How did you do listening at home? Do you have that perfect question that's going to really nail them next time? If you do, please feel free to send that in to me at dlweekly.net/trivia.
Well, we will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
A special thank you to Sidel for editing the podcast, Andy Mack for all the wonderful character transitions, and to James D. and Aaron C. for supporting at the Club 33 level.
Please
Please remain seated until the podcast comes to a complete stop and the doors have opened. Then collect your belongings, watch your head, and step carefully from the episode. On behalf of all of our crew, thanks for traveling with us, and we hope you have a happy and memorable visit here at DL Weekly.